My name is Phillips, owner of Noir Apologia Gaming, and today we're going to discuss no distractions, how to properly take advice and think about those things. Like, subscribe, share, follow. All the links are below. Hit the bell for notifications if you want to know when we put up another video. Go to bipolarize.net if you want to understand what we're trying to do, what our purpose is, that we truly care about you, that we truly care about what we're doing here. There is a donate button. It just goes to bills. It's a work in progress, just like I am, just like we all are. Let's contemplate on things. Come on, let's go. Okay, so check this out. The idea of going out by yourself and using your quote-unquote alone time as a way to contemplate on things you've been given advice throughout the day, you have to learn how to make your decisions on your own. And what I mean is not without advice. People devise ideas to keep away from people, and it's really convincing. I did all this stuff by myself. No, you didn't. You got advice along the way, and no matter how much you want to claim victory because you did it all by yourself, you didn't do it by yourself. But a lot of people don't give credit to the little people, as it were. So the idea is, for people like me, especially, where decision making is questionable at best. If you haven't learned how to lead your life properly, it's very questionable. Nobody should trust you. So you need the advice the most. There's so many people in my life that tried to help me back in 2000, 2001, 2002, but I just didn't want to hear them. And on top of it, I was afraid to be by myself because of my thoughts. My thoughts went crazy. They would go everywhere. I didn't know how to compartmentalize. Well, the deal is, that's part of what's going on here. You're learning how to live, to make decisions, and learn how to compartmentalize and push things out. Just because you take one part of someone's idea and you reject the rest doesn't mean you weren't listening either. So think about that. So I want to show you how I do things, where I go, how I do it, what are you exactly thinking about, and showing you that in the end, it is your decision. You have to make the decision. So, you guys ready to learn something? Come on, let's go. Okay, so I bet you some of you are asking, why is this important? Why would I even include this as something you have to do? Because for some of us, now maybe you can have distractions to make a decision, but remember, I'm talking to people like myself. We don't need distractions. Our own disorder is a distraction. I used to tell a joke, and I kind of still do. It's mostly out of just joking. I used to say, it must be nice to go out on vacation and go into work and get away from me. And that's why I say, I can't stand myself sometimes. I can't stand the way I think. Now, I'm clearly significantly better, but the point is, back then I wasn't. Being by myself was a hard one. So it took me a long time to do things. And when you're making decisions like this, don't you want to make it right? Remember, right, not fast. That's something that people just really, they know it's true, but it's hard for them to do. Does that make sense? And the answer to the why is very simple. You have to be the one to make the decision. You can't rely on everyone all the time. It's not their life. It's helping you become independent. You understand? If you're codependent on things, it's bad. You're never making decisions on your own. So this helps with that as well. I'm telling you now, the ingredients and the steps are for everyone. Some normal folks just don't want to see it like that. They're like, well, I don't have any problems. Everyone has problems, and everyone needs advice. People like myself have to have no distractions when they're making decisions, because sometimes our mind is our own distraction. It's something that normal folk do not understand. Does that make sense? So come on, let's go try to learn how to do this and how I do this, okay? Where exactly do you go when you contemplate your advice? It could be standing outside, just like this, beautiful day. You could be looking at the pool, looking at people, just sitting down, just contemplating on things. It doesn't have to be at your house. It can be outside, but preferably away from all the chatter. You can't take away all the noise of life. You're not gonna take away the traffic. Maybe you put in earphones, like this. This right here is my favorite way to contemplate on the advice. I have my earpods in my ear, and I'm focused on whatever it is I've been given. And the idea is, I prefer this over TV because I'll tell you something about TV. It's impossible, actually, to watch something, have it register in your brain, and actually truly concentrate on what you're trying to concentrate on. That works with homework or anything else. So, just so you know, that might be something you're used to. I don't recommend it. Music, though, however, can actually enlighten your soul. You know what I'm saying? Or do you do what I do? A lot of times I will sit back here on the patio and I will just be by myself and I will think about what I've been paying attention to all day and so forth and so on. It's a great way to think. The truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter where you go so long as you're able to focus on what you've been given for advice. You cannot be at a party, for example, and think you're going to be thinking about a move that's coming or a man or a woman that you want to marry or in the case of me, how to change your depression that you're in maybe. It's important for your brain to be able to focus on the things that you've been given as advice. It's a simple concept, but the truth of the matter is, like my cousin Christy, for example, has a couple children and she doesn't have all that time. She works on mental illness for children, and so she goes to all these different places. She has her own son that has bipolar disorder, so she doesn't have just a lot of time. What I've told her before, 15 minutes a day after the kids go to bed, and think about things. Preferably longer, to be honest, but if you're a parent of young children, that's not really a possibility. If you're a parent of teenagers, that's really not a possibility, as my mother and father with me. The deal is, you've already gotten that advice. You do not need little birdies chirping in your ear. In other words, in the end, as I've said already, this is your decision. Then make the decision. And if it's a big, giant decision, maybe you've got multiple pieces of advice from multiple mouths, multiple brains, and you can make this what I would affectionately call like this soup in your head. So you're taking bits and pieces of each thought process and you're trying to make it your own. Does that make sense? So make sure that you carry this ingredient so that you can take all of the advice you've been given and make a decision. It's really that simple, but making time for it is not. So check this out. This whole thing, everything we're doing here, especially this one, this step here, when you're going and contemplating things, this has to be your decision. Do you understand? You cannot allow other people to control everything about your life. You have to learn how to make decisions on your own. And that might be simple for normal folk, as I call you. But for people with mental illness, some of the simplest things you can imagine are very difficult. So like, for example, when you're asking somebody, hey, what do you want to eat? Do you know that I hate that question? It's my least favorite question ever because I don't know. Simple stuff like that. So don't assume that it's easy for that person, but they need to learn how that their decision making is theirs. It belongs to them. It cannot be taken from them, only given away. That if you give away your power, someone else will take it. If you're always giving away your power, someone will take it until you're powerless. You don't want to live your life powerless. And sometimes mental illness makes us feel like that. It's the saddest part about it. Do you understand? So this fourth ingredient is about power. You have the power. You have the power to do these things without distraction. And you have the right. You were born with that right. It's other people who try to take it away. Then you give in and you let them have it. Don't give away your power. Do you understand? So I hope you guys learned a little bit better how the process of thinking that I use, the idea of no distractions, the idea of going by yourself and making sure that it's your decision. The idea of that it's a simple thing, but it's a hard thing because when you're venting to somebody and you're angry and things like that, and they're giving you advice, it may take you a little bit to make the decision no matter what the problems are, right? So the idea is to have, that peace in your heart when you leave the situation so you're confident about your decision making, right? So be safe wherever you're going to go, wherever you're traveling to, whether it be from work, home, or maybe you're on a vacation. Just be safe when you get there. Be aware of your surroundings. Be understanding of one another, not just from your perspective, but from theirs. And remember, not everybody knows how to take that first step. So maybe you have to hold their hand. Remember, hand up, not a hand out. So not handing out anything, it's just being a kind human being and try to comfort a person. Maybe they're confused at this moment in their life and they don't know what path to take. Help them do that. You know what I mean? And remember that life is fleeting. You are not promised your next breath. So take now to do what you need to do to be successful. Take now to resolve an argument maybe with your friend or with your family member or whatever. I know this for a fact. There are things I did not resolve with my mother. There are things I did not resolve with my sister. And I wasn't able to resolve them after they were dead, clearly. So you can really, really make a mistake on that. So just, if you get an opportunity, take it And remember, go to bipolarize.net if you want to understand what we're trying to do here. Hit the bell for notifications so you can be updated on content whenever we put it up. Till the next video, may the Lord light guide you in all things. Goodbye.
Oh,